Hey folks, we're here outside of Brooklyn College. We're going to talk to some Bernie Sanders supporters. What a day, huh? A lot of people. Why do you support Bernie Sanders?
Because, well, I think he's one of the few candidates that are taking on corporations. He's not taking on corporate cash, and that's pretty much it.
I support Bernie Sanders because the United States is in a huge crisis right now, and whoever tells themselves that it's not, is loony. We need changes to our education system, we need changes to our medical system, we need changes to our criminal system, we need changes to all kinds of things. And the most important word, and the thing that he brought up that this country needs right now more than ever, is justice, on all fronts. Justice. And that's why I support Bernie Sanders for the United States 2020. We're going to make it happen. My generation and generations around us, we're going to make it happen this time. No jokes.
And what does socialism mean to you?
Socialism is just a blanket term. It's used to frighten us, it's used to frighten other people about becoming like Venezuela, becoming like Poland, becoming all kinds of things. But in the heart of hearts, socialism is the idea that people provide for the things that the people get from. We put into it and we get out from it. I am not saying I'm a socialist, I'm not saying that this is socialism, I'm saying that to everything there's layers. Corruption comes in many forms. It comes in capitalist forms and socialist forms and every kind of form. And if we can keep corruption out, that's what matters. Don't get caught up with the blanket terms.
I owe $80,000 in debt.
Yeah.
And
it's a rip-off. In most countries it's free to go to
And
college.
I don't even know how I'm going to pay it off, but I had to pay $80,000 just to get a normal job. But by the time I'm done paying it, I'm going to be able to have to buy a house. It's just pretty difficult to actually live on Long Island, especially in New York, having to pay property taxes, and then I was going to pay off $80,000 just to be able to have like a decent living.
Yeah. And what does socialism mean to you?
Well, I believe it's also kind of misunderstood. He's not really, favoring a socialist government. He's favoring ideologies that basically means that society provides for things, including education and healthcare. Socialism is a society should be providing for itself, not specific individuals being able to benefit from our tax dollars, but us uniting and actually getting the money that we put in back.
I think this whole socialism capitalism thing is completely out of key. I think there should be a mix between free market system and socialism. Right now we need more regulations on big corporations, and really that's really what we need.
I feel like the big corporations and bankers are out of control.
Yes.
Caleb Maupin.
That's me.
How are you, sir?
Yes.
I love the job you do out there on social media.
Thank you. Yeah, you want to tell us about why you support Bernie?
Oh man, I don't know where to start.
Okay.
I mean, he's the only humanitarian option, number one. He's the only one with this specific platform, and he's a movement on his own. Really, it's only him as far as being a progressive candidate. It's only him and Tulsi Gabbard.
Okay. And can you tell me what socialism means to you?
I heard that before. Basically, socialism. I'm on the spot now, so let me just slow down.
Sure thing.
Basically, it is the only option that we have right now to turn the tide from the pendulum and the direction that we're heading in. Okay, it's the only option. On a higher scale, we only have two flavors of ice cream, right? Democrat, Republican,
right.
Chocolate, vanilla. Okay, both are on the right of center. How do you fix that? You need to at least, at a minimum, bring one party at least to the left of center so we can have balance. And the way to do that is with democratic socialism.
Very good.
I don't think any of the other candidates in the field really have that kind of adversarial nature towards Wall Street and towards the corporate oligarchy, so that's why I support Bernie Sanders.
And what does socialism mean to you?
What does socialism mean to me? It means the working class having control over society and having control over the economy. It means a democratically controlled society. Instead of minoritarian rule, it would be a majoritarian rule. A lot of people think of themselves as like down on their luck millionaires.
Yeah.
And that's why we don't have like a class consciousness.
Right. But I tell people, that the goal of socialism is to make it so many people can become millionaires.
That's it.
The wealth isn't the problem, poverty is. And
not scarcity.
Yeah, and if we can control the economy, the banks, factories, and industries operate rationally, many people could become wealthy.
People think of socialism as a scarcity, because of Venezuela or whatever.
Right, we want everyone to be poor or something.
Yes,
no, poverty is the problem.
Enough for everyone.
I actually, Deng Xiaoping in China, he famously said, poverty is not socialism, but to be rich is glorious.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that.
What does socialism mean to you?
It means that the workers control the means of production. It means democratic capitalism is kind of the best way to put it.
People controlling the economy.
Exactly.
An economy that serves the people, not Wall Street greed.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
If he's supposed to be the environmental candidate,
Yeah.
why is he pushing for a war, or pushing? He's justifying a war for oil.
Yeah. Another.
How does that work?
Right. I'm with you. No. I mean,
But
his
the
foreign
question-
policy is not where I'm at. That's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. The question is like, where has he been? Like, was there a change that happened, or has he been pushing that line the whole time? Like,
Serbia was the turning point, right? He used to be pretty good, but then 1999 he supported the bombing of Serbia,
Okay.
and that was the turning point. And that's when him and Michael Parenti stopped being friends, apparently.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, his foreign policy is certainly not where I'm at, but I like Tulsi Gabbard on foreign policy.
well, we were just talking about her and like how
She's kind of undone a lot of the good work that she did in terms of Syria, because she's like, I mean, I get it, I get what they're trying to do, but at the same time, they're giving air to these arguments that are just justifying regime change and sanctions.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Tulsi, like with what you hear about Maduro and what she says about Assad. And she met with Assad, and she's getting a lot of flack for that. And I really appreciate the fact that she's calling out like the role of the white helmets. Or I don't know if she actually addressed the white helmets, but just like how much we're directly arming the rebels, and like we're, it's not an actual revolution. It's a
arm of Al Qaeda.
Yeah, but she goes on TV and talks about Assad like everything they're saying is true about the chemical weapons. None of it is true. None of it.
Yeah. And it's weird because she started out saying she was skeptical about the chemical attack in Ghouta. Was it Ghouta?
Yeah.
Yeah, but now she's kind of backtracking, like, there's no question that Assad's a dictator, blah, blah, blah.
The CIA is they've been all over the media ever since when? What, the 50s?
Oh, yeah.
Mockingbird, right?
Exactly. MK Ultra, Mockingbird, there was a lot of them, actually.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you came here to stick up for world peace.
Yeah. I just think that there's no viability anywhere in corporate media or even a lot of the left media.
I mean, you look
Democracy
at Democracy
Now!
Now.
Are you kidding me? Like, and this week it's the same thing. They're giving us rhetoric about questioning the humanitarian aid. They're bringing the foreign minister on their show.
Yeah.
But what did they do with Libya, Syria?
Yeah, they were especially bad in Syria.
They give a lot of attention to Yemen, which is great, but they just repeat the same lies.
Well, I got a sign here. It says we need a government of action to fight for working families, and that's what we need. That's what socialism is. It's where the government is carrying out the interests of the working people of this country, not lining the pockets of the bankers, the oil companies, the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, very good, very good. What's the crowd here like?
Oh, it's very good. People very interested in the ideas of socialism, actually very attracted to this sign, the aesthetics of it, the slogan of it, and people very interested in some of the literature we're giving out about the truth about the situation in Venezuela, and exposing some of the lies that the corporate media has been pushing on Venezuela.
What do you like about Trump?
That he's an outsider, and so far he's actually been delivering on some of his promises. Like
which ones?
Well, right now he's really working on that wall, which is pretty good.
Okay.
And the economy's doing great right now.
Yeah. Now, you talk about the wall.
Yes.
Now, if Trump succeeds in Venezuela and is able to overthrow the government there and cast it into chaos, won't there be all kinds of people from Venezuela fleeing up to the United States trying to get over the wall?
At least all of us got our vote.
Well, if Venezuela continues the way they're going right now, I don't think they're gonna have any. It's a little complicated. It's a loaded question saying that they're gonna escape from Venezuela to jump over the wall.
I didn't vote for Trump, but I also didn't vote for Hillary. You know, and when Trump won, part of me smiled because he said he was going to stop meddling in foreign countries around the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was going to stop going around, and he was actually going to build up the United States of America. You know? But it seems like with Venezuela, he's meddling, right? I mean, he's trying to overthrow the Venezuelan government. He's not fulfilling his promise.
I mean, how do you feel about Venezuela?
I mean, I think we need to stay out of it. I don't think it's our business to be going over there and trying to overthrow the Venezuelan government, And I feel like Trump, like on the campaign trail, that was what he was all about, was America first, right?
Well,
Stop meddling. And
you know the reason we're in Venezuela? Because they have a lot of oil.
Exactly.
Yes.
What does socialism mean to you?
Socialism, I think, is about equity and equality, and about everyone having a fair shot.
Very good. What do you think of this sign our friend here has? We need a government of action to fight for working families.
Yeah, I think you know, the role of government is always it's defined in different ways. It's subjective, right? But I think an efficient government is one that fights for most people, and most people are working families.
I'm preparing for college, and it's terrifying. I have no idea how many people in my generation are being forced into economic serfdom. Basically, they will never have the chance to have the American dream, and it's terrifying. And so I'm totally for Bernie. I'm like a Bernie or bust kind of like guy, because honestly, I will not accept, you know.
Can you tell us what socialism is?
Socialism? Well, I mean, people in this country have the tendency to think that socialism is when the government does stuff. Socialism, as proposed by Karl Marx, is just the workers owning the means of production. If you think that the bakers ought to own the bakery, you're a socialist.
Very good.
And that's why I'm a socialist.
Yeah, we ought to have an economy organized to serve public good. What do you think of the sign our friend here has? We need a government of action to fight for working families.
Pretty cool.
You agree with that?
I mean, definitely. Who can't agree with that?